Hi everyone, this is Sunny and I have a celebrity crush reading for you guys today. I have 4 piles for you guys to choose from left to right. I have pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's gonna be a quick reading. I enjoy these the most because I don't get as tired as easily. So remember the question in case you didn't focus too much on the question and the title, or if you kind of need some refreshing. It's going to be whether um, I'm gonna laugh, but I'm trying not to laugh. This isn't me. If you hear a no, this isn't me being mean. It's just me just laughing. Just the way I phrase things sometimes. I think about. I'm sorry. I think we sometimes phrase things like, when you were in your middle school or high school years, and you would end up doing like reports on like science, like about really serious things, or like sad things, and you would come in and like do your PowerPoint presentation with like really colorful fonts or like glitter or like cute emojis and like stuff to pictures. I feel that's me. It's like, imagine it's like, hey guys, I want my presentation today is going to be about herpes, and it's like and it's like a colorful pink like font and like glitter. It's just, yeah. I think of the most inopportune ways to be enthusiastic about my work. I think it's the same when I speak. This was like on a tangent, I'm sorry, but I think of sometimes I think about that when I speak about my topics, and I'm like, wow, I really need to work on that enthusiasm and be more serious. It's not that I'm perky. I don't think I'm necessarily perky, but I'm sometimes very enthusiastic about things, and I'm like, yeah, I could be a little bit more empathetic when it comes to how I speak. But yeah, the topic, I'm sorry, I got totally sidetracked. I've never gotten this much sidetracked, so I apologize. The topic for today is going to be whether your celebrity crush would break your heart or not. So I have 4 piles to choose from. I think I already said that. Why am I repeating? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna start with the first pile. Pile 1, you guys have the 3 of Swords, so this is a yes. Your celebrity crush would totally break your heart, but it's understandable. This is a celebrity, international or national celebrity, or even if it's local. This person would crush you because I think they would kind of already be in a relationship or in a union, and you would kind of be like the third party coming up. That's what it reads. It's more so like, oh, you're the uninvited guest, or you're the third wheel. It's like, oh, okay, I understand. So it would feel like this person they would try their best to kind of lay you down slowly, like, oh, I'm sorry, but I'm already married, or I'm already in a relationship. But it does feel like this person would take your feelings into somewhat of a consideration, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna hurt. They're turning you down, but do the best that you can with such information. But yeah, I do think it's gonna be like, ouch. But I do think this person is already in a union, and I think you might already know that. They are a celebrity, and if they don't express that outwardly, their private life, like, hey, I'm taken, or like, hey, like, it's all about my business side, they are taken, by the way. So there's your answer. It's not always going to be happy, but yes, it would probably break your heart. So suit that with another celebrity crush. always replace some. There's so many people in the world you could like, so don't stick to just one. Pile 1. You can always pick a different celebrity every time you pick a reading like this. The next one, pile 2, you have the Hierophant reversed. So no, they would not break your heart. I think this person is very considerate of emotions, but I do think, it's interesting because do you have a crush on someone that's kind of like within the spiritual or religious community, or do they practice a lot of like, I don't want to say hippy dippy stuff, but it's like they practice some sort of, maybe they're meditative people, or they're like alternative practices. It just feels like within this realm you're interested in people, or whether even if they're actual actors and actresses, they're people who are expressive of more or less how they kind of view things alternatively, or you're gonna kind of get the hints of that. I'm just interested to know and clarify if that's more or less the case, because it's interesting to kind of see how this played out. But yeah, this is a no. They would not break your heart, but I do think this person would show. It's because usually this on an upright would be wise and considerate, but a reverse is someone who's rude, or at least they put up a facade that they're all good and pious, but maybe they're not. Maybe behind closed doors they're different people. So it's interesting to read this. So maybe either one, they keep their faith hidden, or like their practice is hidden, but you kind of pick up on those cues and you're interested, you find them interestingly alternative spiritually. Or there's someone who's in a higher position compared to you. There's someone who, well, I'll say this, they won't break your heart, but it's not like you can, it just feels like someone who's in a spiritual path. Maybe you like them because of that, but I still feel that this person is just turned off by romantic options. I think they're all kind of business. They're not really focused in like actual love connections, if that makes sense. But they would not turn you down and break your heart, but they would still kind of show emotion that's like, continue on your path, child. Like it feels like you still feel an endearing emotion, but you kind of still feel that coldness. It's very weird. I feel like Aquarian energy, where it's like they're cold and distant, but they're still considerate of others because they're people oriented, if that makes sense. Not singularly, but plurally. So within that realm, it makes sense. Make it make sense. But again, this is like, yeah, I got turned down, but it didn't feel so bad. It feels like they just want collectively love. That makes sense. Like they collectively love people. That's why I think of like someone that's like that. It's like spiritually kind of inclined. Like, I love the world, but I love the world, but I'm not in love with specific people in the world, if that makes sense. Weird. I just got this weird vibe like that. It's like, do you have a crush on someone that's like, are they maybe like a pastor, a priest, or something? Like, I don't, it's something, I keep thinking of a religious figure here, or someone that's like in that spiritual leader and wise, but they also kind of are not very, they're aloof, a little cold, but not rude, but it's just, it feels like they would be the kind of person who would tells you, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, right? So do with that information what you will, pile 2. I took a little bit long in that one. Pile number 3, you guys have the 8 of Swords reversed. So your celebrity crush would not break your heart, but I do think there's someone who wouldn't take action towards you. Sorry, I had to take a water sip. Let me center. I do think this person would consider your mental health first, and their mental health, because I think the mental health is fragile. That of a viewer, that of a spectator can be sensitive. Sometimes the masses act differently, and you never know. It's like you never know what you get. So I do think they're very considerate and cautious. There you go. They're cautious with their words and what they say and what they don't say. It's like they're very good at picking up those nonverbal cues. They're very smart and intellectual. They kind of decipher things like that. So they're very good at that social communication, but they don't make too much, how do I say? They don't make too much effort into kind of getting to specifically know a person like that, you know? So I do think that they would not break your heart, but they wouldn't be interested either. So I think there's someone that's not focused specifically on like but making that connection with like a supporter of theirs, you know? So I do think they know how to put those boundaries up. They very much have those boundaries up. I know it's reversed, but it feels like you're trying to break those boundaries, but this person's like, no, like I love you as a spectator, but I'm not in love with you. It's like they make you known. It's like these swords are up here. This is my personal space. So I do think they would not break your heart. You'd still like them. I feel you'd still continue to like them if you spoke even after that and they turned you down, because it would still be someone that you appreciate a lot, which is good. You should still like them even if they say no, from afar, If they say no, please respect their no's. No's are respected from anyone. But I do think there's someone who is going through a lot of mental stuff, or maybe you are. They're going through a lot of mental health issues right now. They have poor mental health. They have their own things. I'm sorry, my throat's terrible. They have their own things going on right now that they're not publicly saying. I think it's something that they kind of hide from the public sphere. But they're someone who's trying to make the best out of it. But they kind of have to go through it. They kind of have to go through the hard stuff. So they have maybe a lot of anxiety, maybe a lot of, maybe they have a lot of social anxiety. And being around people kind of stresses them out. I think a lot of stress triggers, a lot of stressful triggers when it comes to large masses of people and them, because it's like, okay, it's overwhelming. There you go. You feel a lot of overwhelming feelings for pile number 3. So I do think they would say no. They wouldn't break your heart, but you could kind of tell, like, that's not their heart, and their mind is not in like that love heart space. It's like they're kind of focused more on like their well-being. So kudos to them for kind of working on that, but they're kind of working themselves out of this. It's like they're keeping to themselves, but they're also kind of learning to take the blindfold off and put those boundaries up, and they kind of figure out what's really eating at them. But that mental health is something they kind of work on, and they're not focused on other people. So I think you kind of pick up on that, or at least they've been vulnerable from time to time about things that they suffer, behind closed doors. And you're respectful of that, so good for you if you are. But remember, they would say no. Just take it as no. There's many other people you can like as your celebrity crush, and you'll still be great. So I hope that helped. Pile number 4. Oops. You guys have the 7 of Cups reversed. So they would not break your heart. I think you still like this person as well, even if they told you no. But I do think this person is someone who, first and foremost, I think this person, maybe, it's not that they're delusional, but they're like, how could I say? This person is a lot. So, no, they would not break your heart, but there's someone who represses a lot of the things that they don't wish to express in the daylight. If that makes sense to you, great. But I'm trying sometimes to kind of use my words a little bit. I like using simple things without, making them too fancy, because I don't need the message to be watered down or confusing. But I do think with this 7 of Cups, it's someone who really kind of keeps that cup to themselves, or like doesn't really. They have unrealistic expectations of what love and compassion and caring is. It's like those emotional feelings are not realistic, therefore they just keep it to themselves. It's like they want to hoard it. They don't give it away to people to see it. It's like they're not delusion. It's like, I need it. It's like they need to receive it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like they expect things to just be given to them and handed to them. And it's interesting. It's like they expect the love from their viewers, maybe. Missed opportunities, maybe. This is a missed opportunity. But I mean, it's for the best. To be honest, I don't think I really like this person too much, because of how they come across in this type of field, where it's like, yes, you would still like them, but you kind of maybe understand more or less how they really are. But you still appreciate them. You still appreciate their work. I think you still like them. But I do think this person is kind of more focused on themselves than other people. They're opportunistic for themselves. And I also think that they kind of expect to continue to receive that love and just keep it to themselves and hoard it. I also think that maybe because they have so many options, it's like they're so indifferent to people. It's like, oh, I think of the Emperor's New Groove in that scene where he's, it's in the beginning of the movie, I think, where he's choosing a bride, and he's like, let me guess, you have a great personality. Next, like, oh, nice smile, like it just feels like he has such high expectations and critiques that it's like, oh, I'm so indifferent to the men and women that love me. It's like, nah, I'm just gonna focus on myself. So maybe they're either disillusioned by the fact that they have so many opportunities they don't even take an opportunity up, or two, they kind of just hoard themselves in the position where they kind of keep to themselves and just keep giving to themselves and only want to receive and never give. Or three, they're also someone who has unrealistic expectations. So take what resonates, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It helps me out with my channel. And that's what I have for you. So I think I went on too much with this one. But only take what resonates, right? So no, they would not hurt you. By the way, pile 3. They would not break your heart, but they would not open themselves up to love. They're kind of hidden. They're introverted. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you guys soon. So bye-bye, everybody.